From Petaluma High School, it's the first round of the NCS playoffs, the Petaluma Trojans and the Redwood Giants. And a very good afternoon, everyone, from a dreary Petaluma High School softball diamond. The dreariness of the future rain might get taken out of all your folks' minds here at home and at the field today, because we have a very exciting and very important game in varsity softball. The Petaluma Trojans had high hopes this whole season. It's been an up and down wild ride, but now they're nearing the end in the NCS playoffs. The Trojans have big hopes to make a deep run. They know they can beat every single team in the 16-team bracket, but every game will be a battle, and it's win or go home. And it has not been good recent NCS success for Petaluma. The Trojans back-to-back years have lost their first-round NCS game, including being upset here last year against Newark Memorial when they were the 7th seed. This year's Petaluma is the 6th seed, and they're facing a team that they've already faced this year in the 11th seeded Redwood Giants of the Marin County Athletic League. The Giants come in also as an up-and-down season. They're 13-11 overall, and they've lost 5 out of their last 7. However, prior to that, they won 7 out of their last 8. So really wild up-and-down season for Redwood. They were blown out here when these teams played back in early March 11-0, and the Trojans completely dominated Redwood. But the Giants, very young team, especially on their pitching, showed a lot of improvement over the course of the season. However, Petaluma comes in hot, and Redwood does not come in hot to this game. The Trojans certainly are favorites, but Redwood comes in hungry because it is a do-or-die game, and it just makes this all the more fun and all the more important. The pressure's going to be out on these players, a late start, a huge crowd, and for Petaluma, especially for their seniors and juniors, it's in the back of their head. They've struggled in NCS. Can Petaluma do something different? Redwood also lost in the first round, so they're hoping for something as well. Let's head out onto the field. We're just a couple moments away from the introduction of the starting lineups and the national anthem here between Petaluma and Redwood. The Trojans overall 16-7. They're 8-4 in VVAL, but for the first time in 9 years, Petaluma did not win a league title. Moving into the Vine Valley Athletic League, Petaluma finished in a 3-way tie for second, along with American Canyon and Vintage, 1 game back of Napa. And the Trojans, they come in very hot. They have played excellent softball of late. They only have 3 losses in the last month, and they were all by 1 run. Mandy O'Keefe has been dominant on the mound for Petaluma, and the Trojans are hoping for the same from their ace today. Rachel Bless pitched the last time these two teams faced off, and it was a Mercy Rule 5-inning game. Petaluma won 11-0. The Trojans scored 5 runs in the first inning off Redwood. We'll see if things are different this time. And we are about to listen into the PA announcer, which is yours truly, as we get ready to go here between Redwood and Petaluma. Both teams getting hyped up. Both teams have played in challenging leagues. The VVAL was a new challenge for Petaluma, and they're hoping that the day in and day out struggle playing some of the best teams in the North Bay will really benefit them against the Giants. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2019 North Coast Section Les Schwab Championship Series softball game between the Redwood Giants and your Petaluma Trojans. Your display of good sportsmanship will demonstrate your support for the participants, coaches, and officials during this special educational activity. Sportsmanship values that have been embraced by NCS member schools for over 100 years. Our participating schools, thank you. Before the national anthem, let's introduce the umpires for today's game. Plate umpire is Christine Elise, and base umpire is Sean Benton. These umpires are neutral and have earned the opportunity to officiate today's game based upon evaluations by the respected officials, associations, and approval of the coaches for whom they work during the league season. We congratulate them on their selection. And now, let's meet the rosters. First, for the visiting Redwood Giants. Batting first for the Giants, number 27, Kama Kalakini.
Batting second for Redwood, number 8, Katie Connors. Batting third for Redwood, number 2, Morgan Bello. Next batting for the Giants, number 13, Mia Kessinger. Batting fifth for Redwood, number 31, Audrey Lightfoot. Batting sixth for Redwood, number 17, Alexis Garrow. Batting seventh for the Giants, number 9, Genevieve Schlick. Batting eighth for Redwood, number 3, Camille Mangenesot. Batting ninth for Redwood, number 25, Mia Hammett. And the Redwood Giants are coached by Emily Atkinson. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Petaluma Trojans. Batting first for Petaluma, number 5, Rachel Bless. Batting second for the Trojans and playing center field, number 7, Kaylee Wyand. Batting third for Petaluma, catching number 13, Emma Wyand. Batting fourth, senior captain right fielder, number 10, India Smith. Batting fifth and pitching, number 4, Mandy O'Keefe. Batting sixth for Petaluma and playing left field, number 22, Kylie Pates. Playing first base and batting seventh, number 33, Cami Ayers. Playing third base and batting eighth, number 15, Logan Pomey. And playing second base, number 14, Mallory O'Keefe. The Trojans are coached by manager Kurt Janstow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem. A whole lot of ceremony and pomp and circumstance that always precedes these big NCS games that lets everyone know how important these games are. We are ready to play softball between Petaluma and Redwood. What a massive game, win or go home for both of these teams. A long season, you've played a lot of games, but now everything comes down to one game. Trojans come in as the 6th seed in this tournament. They were the 7th seed last year, upset by Newark Memorial 12-4 in a game that was never close. Trojans returned most of their players from that team. They hope that they can do things differently this year, and I think they were a little bit disappointed at being seeded 6th. I think they thought they should have received a higher seed. And certainly the Trojans, have played the number 1 seed in this bracket, Rancho Cotati, 4 times this season and lost by 1 run all 3 times to them. They know they can beat every team in this bracket, but they also know they have to take it 1 game at a time because it's been, since these current seniors were freshmen, since Petaluma won an NCS game, the longest drought this decade for Petaluma softball. Mandy O'Keefe will take the center circle for Petaluma, and she has been on a tear of lately for the Trojans. The junior pitcher overall in the season, 9-2 with a 3.55 ERA. In this, her 14th game started. She's pitched 5 complete games and 76 innings pitched. And it's especially been her recent performance that has been strong. She's had some rough patches earlier in the season, but she has been dominant as of recently, just allowing 4 runs in the last 22 innings that she has pitched. And she's been through a lot in those last 22 innings. The death of her father, Sean O'Keefe, just 2 weeks ago. But since then, she has pitched her best softball of the season, believe it or not. An amazing focus and perseverance by the junior pitcher through tragedy. But she is right now on a roll and hopes to continue getting things done for Petaluma. The only games they've lost with her on the mound recently is when Petaluma has not hit the ball. Trojans have a strong defense behind her, and you heard the starting lineup. Very experienced. Mallory O'Keefe is the only player that does not return from the lineup last year that is out starting. O'Keefe's at second. She is the one weak link in this Trojan defense, if there's any, but Petaluma has not made an error in over a month, and they only have 16 errors on the season. Batting first for Redwood, number 27, Kama Kalankini. Kama Kalankini will lead things off for Redwood as we get underway. First round of the NCS playoffs here from the PHS Softball Diamond. The first pitch from O'Keefe misses outside. Kalankini, one of the 4 seniors on the Giants, batting .271 on the year. That one misses outside. No, that one did catch the inside of the strike zone. No scoreboard today. The scoreboard's been broken for half the season here at the Petaluma Softball Diamond, so we'll be updating you on the score frequently. Kalankini swings right back to O'Keefe, who is a very slick fielder. She plays short when she's not pitching. And quickly, 1 down. Now batting for Redwood, number 8, Katie Connors. Here is Katie Connors digging in for the Giants. Connors only a freshman. There's a lot of young players on this Redwood team. 5 freshmen, believe it or not. But Connors only batting .193 on the year, as that misses low. Good chance we're going to see a pitcher's duel here today. Both teams have been very strong on their pitching, especially recently. Redwood all season long. It's been if their pitching is well, the team's going to go well. It's not a team that hits a lot, because Connors fouls this off out of play. Look out for our cameraman, Stella Schwapik. It looks like it landed right in front of her. It's getting worried as that one traveled closer and closer to her. Well, it's 1-1 on Connors. Redwood overall in the year just hitting .261 with a .344 on base percentage, and they don't hit for power either. If they're going to reach, it's going to be with base hits. Their slugging percentage is just .339. It's actually lower than their on base percentage. Basically, extra base hits are non-existent for Redwood. This one is sliced into left, but right to Kylie Pate. 2 down, and O'Keefe so far throwing a nice variation of pitches, and Redwood off balance early. Now batting for the Giants, number 2, Morgan Bello. So here is the best hitter on Redwood. The sophomore star for the Giants, hitting .383 on the year, and she reaches base 41% of the time. And that one hit Bello. So Bello will reach on the batter, and the Giants have their first base runner. Now batting for Redwood, number 13, Mia Kessinger. So Kessinger digs in for Redwood. First runner on base. Has to give some confidence for the Giants. Oh. And Redwood didn't score when they came up here back on March 8th.
Has to give them some confidence just to get a base runners. This one is sliced over the head of Bless and bounces into left field. A base hit for Mia Kussinger, and the Giants are now in business. A good first inning now for Redwood. Now batting for the Giants, number 31, Audrey Lightfoot. Here comes Lightfoot for the Giants. Redwood got some action going in the first inning when these teams played last time. Actually loaded the bases with 2 outs before Rachel Blass, who started that game, got out of it. The Giants never reached base again. Blass retired 9 straight batters to finish off the game. Lightfoot takes low, and it's 1-1. Runners at first and second, top of the first tier of round 1 of the NCS playoffs between the Giants and the Trojans. The 6th seed Petaluma, the 11th seed Redwood. Just misses outside as O'Keefe tries to get Lightfoot to chase. 2-1. Sophomore infielder hitting .277 on the year with 18 hits. That catches the strike zone, 2-2. Lightfoot's batted in 8. Potentially could here with a base hit. Give Redwood some confidence. A hard chopper to third off the glove of Pomey. Bless fires to first. Not in time. What an awkward play off the glove of Lightfoot. It skidded off the glove of Pomey, and Bless so slick fielding, but she couldn't gun down the runner. Now batting for Redwood, number 17, Alexis Giro. So just like way back in early March, played under similar skies, bases loaded, Giro into right field, foul. Slicing ball, just out of play. That one was going to be hard. That might 2 runs scored, as that could easily fall down that slope in right field. Smith couldn't catch up to it. 0-1 on Giro, and a massive spot for the Giants. Batting .262 on the year, the senior, with 11 hits. Just 7 RBIs, though. There are a lot of good hitters on this Giants team. To get some confidence early has to be huge. She looks it on the 0-1. Big swing and a miss. 0-2. Nowhere to put him for O'Keefe. She hit a batter. 1 walked, and then an infield error on Pomey. Well, I'm not sure if they'll rule that an error. Tough play by Pomey, as that misses low. But Bless couldn't make the play in time after it skipped off the glove of Pomey, and really just unlucky. Was a force out. If Pomey was just able to field it cleanly, all she had to do was tag the runner who was coming right near her, but she couldn't corral it. Giro up the middle, base hit. The runner at third will hold, but the Giants lead 1-0. This ball's thrown behind the plate off the backstop. The Trojans hold on. Runner at second was way off the bag and races back safely. Near disaster on both sides there, but the Giants have a run on the RBI single by Giro. Now batting for Redwood, number 9, Genevieve Schlick. What a start for the Giants on this dreary Tuesday afternoon. 1 run in. Looked like nothing was going. Petaluma has been darn near perfect in these games of late in terms of fielding, pitching, and really not the case. Schlick fouls it back. Trojans in the last 4 games have given up just 4 runs. Misses outside. Schlick only batting .196 on the year with 10 hits. The sophomore with 7 runs batted in, trying to bat one in here, but it's foul. 1-2. O'Keefe's got to find a way to put away these pesky Redwood batters. Done an excellent job of placing balls where they needed to. That catches the bottom of the strike zone, and Schlick strikes out to end the inning, but not before a tough one for Mandy O'Keefe. Redwood scores 1, and it looked like nothing was going in that inning, but a hit batter is never a good omen, and a couple weird base hits and the Giants find themselves with a massive run. They came up here and in 5 innings never scored against Petaluma, were completely blown out. The Trojans dismantled them in just the 3rd game of the season. And to get Redwood on the board, Giants can prove to themselves they can compete with this powerhouse in Petaluma and have a shot here. And similar to what we saw last year in the NCS playoffs when we were here, Petaluma was a 7 seed. Newark Memorial scored a couple runs early in that game, proved they belong, never looked back, won in a blowout. Trojans need to get some runs back here early against some Redwood pitching that they hit well early in the season. Otherwise, the Giants are only going to grow in confidence. Petaluma scored 5 runs against the Giants when these teams played back in early March and scored 11 runs in the first 3 innings. Giants really couldn't contend with some dangerous Petaluma hitting, but the Petaluma Bats have been not great of late. Trojans placing some very good pitching in the likes of Rancho Cotati, American Canyon, and Vintage, but the Trojans in their last 3 games have only scored 5 runs, and 4 of them came in one game, in their final game against Vintage, which was last Tuesday, and Petaluma got a 2nd spot. But the lack of hitting for the Trojans really cost them a VVAL title, lost 1-0 to American Canyon last Monday, and finished 1 game back from a VVAL title. Head on to the field, where the Giants will bring out their ace, just a freshman, in Sadie Lightfoot. But she has been good this year and a key part to the Giants improving over the course of the season. Now batting for Petaluma, number 5, Rachel Bless. So Rachel Bless will lead things off for Petaluma against Sadie Leonard, not Lightfoot. The freshman, a 2.54 ERA, 7-6 on the year. This will be her 13th game started. She is a workhorse, 102 innings pitched. Bless takes the first pitch outside from Leonard. Batters only reaching 28% of the time against Leonard. Came in as a freshman, struggled early in the season, really found her niche halfway through, and has developed into a weapon for the Giants, who finished 3rd in a very good Marin County Athletic League. Early in the season, they lost some games. They didn't know who to go to pitch. They lost both seniors from last year. That were their 2 pitchers. Mrs. Lowe. 2-1 to Bless. Leonard did not start the game here in Petaluma, and these teams played back in early March. That one catches the bottom of the strike zone, 2-2. She came in late in the first when Redwood started Giro instead. As Bless, swing and a miss, strikes out on the off speed. Upset with herself, but a nice pitch by the Redwood freshman. Now batting for Petaluma, number 7, Kaylee Wyand. Kaylee Wyand, second up for Petaluma. It was a disaster for Alexis Giro, the other pitcher for the Giants. Started against Petaluma and recorded just 1 out before being pulled. 5 Trojans scored. The first 5 Petaluma batters scored. All reach base. Petaluma scored 5 runs in the first inning. Leonard came in and was able to cool things down a little, as that's in their first strike, but wasn't great. Still allowed 6 more runs in the second and third innings combined. Remember, it was so early in the season 2 months ago. Wyand takes low, 2-1. Might be the issue, I think, for the Trojans mentally. You come in playing Redwood before, were blown out, or blew them out. And now you find a whole different team 2 months later, but it's what a young team does, improving over the course of the season, and especially with the pitching. 3-1 on the junior center fielder. Batting .397 on the season. Fouled off down the third baseline, and out of play. Full count on Wyand, 25 hits on the year. Reaching base 47% of the time. An excellent hitter, 3-year varsity player. Hasn't seen an NCS win, though, in her time
in the purple and white jersey. One concern, a lot of strikeouts. Leads the Trojans in strikeouts, 18 of them. She was second last year. However, she's going to force a walk. Good patience that time as that sails high. Wyan is the first base runner for Petaluma. Now batting for Petaluma, number 13, Emma Wyan. So the twin sister of Kaylee, Emma. And next up for the Trojans with 1 out and 1 on. First pitch bounces low. Wyan testing the Redwood catcher, but no go. Emma Wyan, this is fascinating. She's hitting the exact same batting average as her sister. Is the throwback to first. Wyan dives back safely. Both sisters hitting .397 on the year. Emma's cooled down over the course of the year. She was very hot early in the year. Still second on the team in hits with 29. Both Wyan twins so exceptionally hardworking, and there's no doubt they feed off each other's patience, and it's not a surprise to see their batting averages so similar. It's a point of pride between them. One wants to be better. Two one. That catches the bottom of the strike zone. The strike zone's been low at the knees. High, there hasn't been a lot for the taking, but the batter's starting to feel the strike zone out of the umpire. Got to adjust. That catches the outside corner. Now it's 2-2. This one sliced to short under the glove of the Redwood shortstop, and it's a base hit for Wyan. Kalakina at short, unable to run it down. Now batting for the Trojans, number 4, Mandy. Oh no, number 10, India Smith. Well, Mandy O'Keefe on deck. I saw her walking to the plate, but the Trojans' best batter before that. And their senior captain, India Smith, who has been on a tear of late. Batting .438 on the year. And she's reached base 16 games in a row now. And has a hitting streak of 7 games in a row. Nearly impossible to get out when she's in the zone. 1-0 to Smith, who's headed to St. Mary's of Moraga next year, Division I softball scholarship. Takes outside, 2-0. Leonard's been treading very carefully early in this game, working around the strike zone and not giving Petaluma anything too good to look at. That misses low again, and now it's 3-0. You can tread carefully, but you don't want to fall behind like this. So you have to start pitching strikes, and the Trojans can easily tee off. 28 hits over the course of the year for Smith as she walks. 13th walk of the season for Smith, a team best. Now batting for Petaluma, number 4, Mandy O'Keefe. So Redwood loaded the bases in the top of the first, got 1 run. Trojans will do the same, but here with 2 outs to work with. Wyan walked, Kaylee Wyan walked, Emma Wyan reached on a base hit, and now Smith walks. First pitch strike for Leonard. She needs to find the strike zone more. She's going to be in trouble. O'Keefe known for pitching, but she has a good bat as well. Misses low. She especially had a big game against these Giants when they played previously. 4 hits. Came around to score 3 times and added an RBI. One of her best hitting games of the season. A lot of that was against Leonard as this is chopped to third. They'll throw home. It gets under the mitt of the catcher, and the Trojans will score. Redwood looks for the force out, but a pass ball, and everyone's safe. Now batting for Petaluma, number 22, Kylie Pate. Well, Kylie Pate comes up with the bases loaded. We're going to have a pinch hitter here with Sobel. Will pinch hit for Mandy O'Keefe. The speedy Sobel at first. After the error by the Giants, the Trojans threatening for more. It's a shaky infield for Redwood. 41 errors, and I think that was just number 42 over the course of the season. Just a 92% fielding percentage for the Giants. It's a pretty young infield. Anything in play is a good opportunity for more runs for Petaluma. That takes outside, gets away from the catcher, but it bounced right back to the Giant catcher off the backstop. So the runners can't go anywhere. Wyand, pretty speedy at third. The 1-0 to Pate. Catches the strike zone 1-1. Leonard got blessed to strike out, look good, and since then has fallen behind in nearly every single batter, struggling to find her control. Misses outside. Trojans are happy to wait. Last game we live streamed with Petaluma 2 weeks ago, their senior day against Justin Siena. The Trojans walked 7 times in the first inning. This one sliced deep into left field. Left fielder going back, and it is to the bottom of the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes Smith to the plate. She's safe, and it's a 2 RBI double for the senior Kylie Pate. What a hit for Pate over the left fielder and just missed flying out of the ballpark. And Emily Atkinson will have words for her freshman pitcher. The Trojans' bats are going early, and Petaluma gets the needed response after Redwood got 1 run in the first. Leonard struggling to find her control for much of this inning. You start just wanting to pitch balls over the plate, and Pate made Leonard pay. Second double of the season for Kylie Pate, and she wasn't starting at the beginning of this year. The senior has used her experience to come in the clutch. .350 batting average, and she now has 10 run-ins batted in on the year. So the Trojans lead 3-1, and still just 1 out as Cami Ayers comes to the plate. Now batting for Petaluma, number 33, Cami Ayers. Ayers trying to keep things going. She's really the heart and soul, I think, of this Petaluma team. Goes about her business at first. Has started every single game there. Just quietly has such a positive impact on the Trojans. It's the first pitch strike. Not as well known with her bat, batting .276 on the year with 16 hits. Ayers takes strike 2. 0-2, and the talk from third-year manager Emily Atkinson seeming to work for Leonard. Ahead in the count for just the second time this inning. Ayers fouls it back. Well, Leonard's not going to get tired. She's going to stay out there and battle. There's no doubt about that. And this Redwood team, you can tell they're feisty. Petaluma needs to get as many runs as they can in this inning. Get a comfy lead. Ayers strikes out. Nice rise ball from Leonard. 2 down. Now batting for Petaluma, number 15, Logan Pomey. So 2 down, and here's the junior Pomey. First pitch takes outside. Kylie Pate with the 2 RBI double with the bases loaded to give the Trojans the 3-1 lead here in the first round of the NCS playoffs. Big swing and a miss by Pomey. She wanted to send that one over the left field fence. Pomey with 18 hits on the year to the tune of a .281 batting average. So the freshman pitcher looks at the 0-2, swinging and a miss. Sorry, 1-2 now. No scoreboard here. My math is not as good as it used to be. One and two.
Swing and a miss, and man, did that talk at the center circle work from the Redwood manager. Leonard looked much more comfortable after her manager, Emily Atkinson, came out to talk to her, but not before the Trojans struck for 3 massive runs. Pitching control was iffy early for Leonard. Petaluma did a nice job being very patient, getting runners on base, and you just need one big hit to get some runs on the board. Petaluma struggled to do that of late, but man, Kylie Pate came through in a massive way with that 2 RBI double to make it 3-1 over the left fielder's head. And senior wasn't on varsity when she was a freshman, and Petaluma won its last NCS game 3 years ago. You want an NCS victory. That's such a big deal, so important, and the Trojans believe they can make a run. Nearing the end of her softball career, Pate comes up with the big hit, and the Trojans get over, I think, that mental hurdle that we talked about at the end of the half inning. Redwood struck early with that first run. It starts getting in your head. We're however many outs away from our season ending. Petaluma didn't think like that, and they put themselves right back in control of this game as the favorites to come out with a victory and move on to the NCS quarterfinals as a 6th seed. And a team that's been playing with a lot of confidence going up against a Redwood team that's not. A team that's lost 6 out of their last 7. The Giants haven't been playing good softball coming into this, and they might have been seeded higher by the NCS committee, but their struggles of late certainly moved them down the ladder a lot. They were an 8 seed last year and got to host the home game. So let's head on to the field as number 3, Camille Munjanaset, digs in for the Giants. The junior lays down a bunt, which will stay fair, and a nice job by O'Keefe to come out of her position and throw to first for the out. Giants trying to catch the Trojans sleeping, but this Petaluma infield is so slick fielding. Now batting for Redwood, number 25, Mia Hammett. Another one of these 5 freshmen on the Giants. Had a nice season, too, batting .305. She nearly falls out of her shoes, though, on that first pitch. 11 hits, 8 runs, and 4 batted in, along with 4 extra base hits. Hammett pops this up in an awkward position. Smith coming in. A few steps from the infield makes the catch. 2 down. Quick inning, just like the first for O'Keefe. This time, could she get out of it? Now batting for Redwood, number 27, Kama Kalinkini. Top of the order for the Giants, and Kalinkini grounded out in the first. Takes the first pitch, strike from O'Keefe. Junior pitcher started the NCS game last year for Petaluma, did not fare well. Didn't make it through that one before giving up a plethora of runs. Trojans fell to Newark 12-6. Petaluma hoping this year, playing in a very tough schedule in the Vine Valley Athletic League, that it will pay off in the North Coast Section playoffs. That misses low. Win or go home. The winner of this game will take on the winner of Alhambra and Montgomery. The 3-14 matchup. This ball sliced in between first and second and into right field. Kalinkini reaches with a base hit. The Giants just don't go down without a fight. Now batting for Redwood, number 8, Katie Connors. Connors flew out in the first. See if O'Keefe can get out of this with 2 down. 4 straight batters reach with 2 out in the first. The Giants were able to scrape across a run. 3-1 the score here in the top of the second. A cold, cloudy day. It does not feel like May. About 60 degrees. Overcast. Rain is not in the forecast, but it is tomorrow. We're expected to have a big winter-like storm fly in. Trojans happy to get this game in today. It's not looking good the rest of the week as this ball gets away from Wyand. She totally lost control of where the ball was, got turned around, and Kalinkini sprints down to second. So runner now in scoring position for the Giants.
trying to scrape across another run. Team that just reaches base 34% of the time, but they've looked good in this game, just battling and fighting at the plate. They face some excellent teams as well. The Marin County Athletic League, Marin Catholic, San Marin. This one is popped high up into the air. Bless will call off Wyan and makes an awkward catch on the lip of the grass. A better fielder wouldn't make that, but this Trojan infield and outfield so experienced with some nice plays. Petaluma gets out of that inning without any runs allowed. It's to be a big relief for longtime manager Kurt Janstow, who's in his 18th season with this program and had to be searching for answers the last couple years, with Petaluma really struggling in their last few NCS games. And I think you look at why. I think the Sonoma County League was to blame. The Trojans really cruised through league the last couple seasons in the Sonoma County League, won league both years very easily. There was really no team in league that was competitive with them, and the Trojans moved into the Vine Valley Athletic League this year, and top to nearly the bottom of the league could be competitive with the Trojans. Petaluma dropped a couple games where their focus wasn't there, and I think by the end of this season, Petaluma's learned how to every single game bring their focus. They know what really good pitching is. They know what really good hitters are. They played Rancho Cotati, who is one of the best teams in the whole Bay Area. Played them 3 times, lost by 1 run all 3 times to them. Trojans are very battle-tested coming into this year. 7 losses. They had 6 losses last year coming into this, but I think especially the 4 league losses so beneficial now for the North Coast Section playoffs, and we've seen that be a good result in other Trojan sports this year, with the test of the Vine Valley Athletic League making NCS not seem as scary. And we'll see if we see the same thing here for the softball team and if they can make a run deep into the North Coast Section playoffs, because they certainly, as we head back out onto the field, they certainly have the talent to do so. Now batting for Petaluma, number 14, Mallory O'Keefe. Bottom of the order for Petaluma. One of only 2 freshmen on the Trojans. Mallory O'Keefe, the younger sister of Mandy O'Keefe. Starting at second once again, where she started most of the season. A pesky hitter. She's still learning to field on the varsity level, but a lot of raw talent in the very talented O'Keefe family. Older sister Emily O'Keefe was the Trojans' ace for 2 years before graduating in 2017. Misses inside, 1-1. Of course, these O'Keefe sisters have been battling through the death of their father just 2 weeks ago. Mallory came back and played less than a week later, though. Mandy took a couple more days. I think softball was a good medicine for them, too, to return to normalcy, at least for a few hours. Fouled straight back, 2-2. Leonard looks like she has a more strong handle on her control after things got away from her in that first inning. 2 straight strikeouts to end things in the top of the first. On the bottom of the first, I should say. That catches the outside of the strike zone and freezes O'Keefe. 4 strikeouts already for Leonard. All of her outs have been courtesy of the strikeout. Now batting for Petaluma, number 5, Rachel Bless. Back to the top of the order for the Trojans. Rachel Bless, who struck out her first at bat. That's something she does a lot. Batting .405 on the year. The SCL Player of the Year takes the first pitch strike last year. Won't be VVL Player of the Year, but it's still only an underclassman, which is hard to believe at this point. There's no doubt she'll be competing for that award in the years to come. This one is fouled way back. Quickly behind 0-2. 6 home runs on the year as well for Bless. Excellent power. Misses outside. Bless had a nice game when these teams played back in early March. 3 hits, 2 runs. She takes low, and she's worked it back to a 2-2. Less a patient hitter as well. 8 walks. Leads Petaluma in home runs, slugging percentage, hits, runs, and doubles. But she strikes out again. Reaching for it, and sometimes I think you want it a little bit too bad. That's what we've seen so far from Bless, at least hitting. Very frustrated so far with herself, though. Now batting for Petaluma, number 7, Kaylee Wyand. Wyand comes up for her second at bat. She walked in the first. 2 outs and nobody on. Showed bunt and pulled it back as it misses low. Trojans mounted 3 runs in the first inning. That misses inside. Kylie Pate, 2 RBI double. After a run scored on an infield error, the ball, third baseman throwing home to the catcher, but went wide of the catcher. Trojans reaching base 40% of the time on the year. They've been in the zone for the most part early in this game. Leonard's having to work hard even when she's getting strikeouts. It's kind of been, I think, the change in approach of softball and baseball. That strikeouts are more okay in today's game as long as you can work the pitcher deep. That's all that coaches want. Wyand fouls it back and out of play. 2-2. Kaylee Wyand with 18 strikeouts on the year. I think a part of that, but she also hits the ball well. Can't be mad at that. Sacrifice the power for the strikeouts. She walks, however, again. Great patience early. 2 walks for Kaylee Wyand. And Leonard will not get a clean inning. Her pitch count has to be getting up there quickly. We mentioned she can work long. Now batting for Petaluma, number 13, Emma Wyand. Mentioned the conditions here today. Wind is also a factor, blowing from first to third base. About 15 miles per hour. Kaylee Wyand stealing. Save. Excellent play by Wyand. She got a great jump, and it was going to take a darn near perfect throw from Bello behind the plate to throw her out. Wyand in scoring position with her twin sister at the plate. They've almost always batted back to back, and we've seen them bring each other in on base hits before the season. Misses outside. Memorable time, Trojan's most memorable victory of the year, 8-7 W over Napa, where they came back 3 times. 2 Wyand twins were a big part of that. Off speed, that's a great pitch by Leonard. Settling in there and freezing Wyand. A couple times she's shown that. Petaluma has been fooled, surprised really that Leonard hasn't looked at the off-speed pitch more. Risky though. The rise ball rises too much, and it's 2-2. Bottom of the second in the first round of these NCS playoffs, and Petaluma leading 3-1. This one is in the gap between third and right. Here comes Wyand to the plate. Safe! As she sneaks under the tag of Bello. The speed of Wyand comes through, and her sister goes to second. Now batting for Petaluma, number 10, India Smith. The Trojans hoping to keep the 2-out rally going as they now lead 4-1. Here is Smith. Excellent base running by Petaluma. The steal by Wyand, able to come home on the base hit. Chop foul. Smith walked. in the first inning and came around to score on the double by Pace. 21 runs batted in for Smith. Last year led the team in batting average as well, 516 batting average. Dropped to a 438 this year, but only because of better pitching in the VVAL. She has the 8th best batting average in Vine Valley this year. That's an excellent pitch by Leonard, spiraling and dicing and dancing before stealing of the corner of the strike zone. It's like Leonard just needs to mix up her pitches more. When she does that, Petaluma's been all off balance. Smith fouls it back. Takes a big chunk of the tree over me. 2-2 to the Petaluma senior captain. 4-year varsity player. What an excellent job she's done leading this Petaluma team as she takes low. The vocal leader, but she also leads by example. I mean, you're just such a good softball player, but you also have the leadership skills and being a role model. Really creates something special, which is a big reason why she'll be playing at the next level. Check swing as Smith fouls it off. Now, off speed, still fooling Petaluma. Smith lucky to stay alive. Kurt Jansko calls her the best hitter in Sonoma County. Wind at second with 2 down. Shot ball to second, it's bobbled, but the throw is made. And the Giants get out of the inning, 1 run allowed on 2 hits, as Wine comes around to score on the RBI single by her sister. We've reached the end of 2 innings, and the score is Petaluma 4, Redwood 1. So there is the score as we move on to the 3rd inning, and these Trojan bats add another run, putting the pressure on the Giants to have to find a way to hit off O'Keefe. And the way Mandy has pitched lately gets into her rhythm, and she struggled with 2 outs for whatever reason. Giants have been able to get a lot of runners to reach with 2 outs, but if O'Keefe can settle in here and get into a rhythm, feels like it's going to be very hard for Redwood to come back on a cold day with the wind blowing in and a Petaluma infield that really doesn't make any mistakes. Even in some big moments this year, Trojans could have been really nervous. The Friday Night Lights game a couple weeks ago against Rancho I was at, that game was so full of tension and excitement, and the Petaluma infield was spectacular. Cameron Sobel in right field made a couple diving catches to save some runs, and the Trojans worked in and out of trouble but didn't allow runs, and they nearly upset Rancho in that game. There's just not a lot of holes in this Petaluma team anymore, and I think the reality is they've gotten into a rhythm at this point in the season where the opposing team is going to have to beat Petaluma. They're not going to beat themselves, and a big part of that is the day in and day out mentality that they've had to have playing in the Vine Valley Athletic League, and also a lot of games and a lot of days. All the rain earlier this season led to a lot of rainouts, and just 3 weeks ago, Petaluma played 4 games in 4 days, which is just an exhausting stretch. But I think playing a lot of softball has to improve Petaluma so much. We'll head back out onto the field for the top of the 3rd inning, and Redwood leading 4-1. Now batting for Redwood, Morgan Bello. As Morgan Bello will lead things off for the Giants. We appreciate everyone tuning in, all 3 viewers right now. This is likely our final live stream of the year. This one is lined into center, but right to wind, and the catch is made. Quickly 1 down. Now batting for Redwood, number 13, Mia Kessinger. Sophomore Kessinger struck out in the 1st inning, batting .309 on the year. Line deep into right, Smith going back a few steps from the wall makes the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs for O'Keefe. That makes anyone here happy, especially on this cold, blustery day. And quickly, O'Keefe's down to her last batter in this inning. Hasn't worked a 1-2-3 yet. Here is Kessinger. I'm sorry. Audrey Lightfoot, I should say, the sophomore. It also has twin sisters on their team, Emma Lightfoot. She chops this ball to short. Bless makes the throw. 1, 2, 3 inning. Man, that couldn't have been easier. So the Trojans quickly get out of that one. Just 5 pitches by O'Keefe. She couldn't have been a lot more efficient. And we head to the bottom of the third. Just like we talked about, Trojans, all they needed to do was settle in to this game. A shaky first inning, and Petaluma has looked a lot smoother after that first inning. Hit batter by O'Keefe, kind of tricky ball by Pomey she couldn't play. A couple just shaky throws into the infield in that first inning. Since then, Petaluma has looked a lot better, and I think those runs early by Leonard were big. There's no doubt the nerves have been apparent on both sides. It's a big game, winner take all, and Trojans, with all their experience, trying to hold it together. The Giants have 14 returners on their team, but you look at their lineup, and they have not done well, or they don't have a lot of experience with their lineup. They lost most of their starting lineup from last year, 5 seniors, including both pitchers, and they've had to learn a lot. Trojans jumped on the Giants. 3 runs in the first, added a run in the top of the second, and lead 4-1. Mandy O'Keefe will lead things off for Petaluma. Leonard was better in that second inning, but Trojan still got a run as O'Keefe tries to lay down a bunt, and it goes foul. Oh, 0-1 on the Trojan junior pitcher, 3-year varsity player. She lays down another bunt, excellently done, and the throw will never get made from Leonard. What a play by Mandy O'Keefe. The Giants knew it was coming, but when you laid out a bunt too good, that's just too good. So here comes Pate after a massive inning in the first. 2 RBI double and a runner in position again. It's the box is dead. So he needs to bring in the box and charge it and run it on this. We're on this camera right now. doing run camera? No. This is outside to Alexis Giros Sr. and is the second pitcher for the Giants. Had a horrible game 2 months ago when these teams played. She fouls that off. Senior batting .262 on the year with 11 hits. 7 batted in. 5 in a row retired by O'Keefe. That misses high, and she's already pitched the same number of pitches she did last inning. Popped up high into the air. Wyand ranging over and calling off Smith. Makes the routine catch. 1 down. Trojans just need more of that. Routine plays around the field. O'Keefe's not a strikeout pitcher. She needs her infield and outfield to play well. And they have so far. Here's Genevieve Schlick, the sophomore for the Giants. Ground ball to Bless, who is the best fielder on the Trojans. She makes everything look so slick. And a slick throw to get out Schlick. 2 down. The early nerves by Petaluma, a thing of the past. Giants just 1 base runner since the second. That misses outside. Mentioned it in the open. O'Keefe has allowed just 4 runs the last 22 innings coming in. Giants got 1 run in the first. They've had no look at anything since. Ground ball right back to O'Keefe. 1, 2, 3 again. My goodness, Mandy O'Keefe is in a rhythm right now. And the Giants completely off balance. A big high five from catcher Emma Wyand. And O'Keefe continues her spectacular work as Trojan pitcher as we move to the bottom of the 4th. And the Trojans lead 5-1. If you're just joining us, this has been a fun game so far. A lot of nerves in the first inning, costing both teams. Giants scratched across a run with 4 straight batters reaching with 2 outs on a hit batter, an error, and a couple base hits. But the Trojans responded excellently in the first inning. Sadie Leonard, the freshman ace for the Giants, struggled to find any control early in the game, walked a couple batters, had a pass ball that scored a run, and then Kylie Pate came through with right now is the hit of the game and a big double over the head of the left fielder that scored 2 and made that a 3-run ball game. Petaluma was just able to scratch across runs in the last 2 innings. Leonard's been a lot better since, but really good, timely pitching, and the Trojans have battled and put balls in play against the shaky infield. Have really helped Petaluma been able to scratch a couple more runs on the board and grow the chasm between 3-1, which is pretty small, and now 5-1 as Petaluma looking to move on to the NCS quarterfinals for the first time since 2016. It has been a while for a Trojan team that's won 5 NCS championships in its history, including a few just about 10 years ago, but Petaluma struggled against the best of the best in the Bay Area of late. I think the Trojans, with this excellent group of experience and young talent, feel they have the right pieces to make a run this year, and I think the bracket works out well for the Trojans. Didn't want to face Rancho Cotati before the finals, and they don't have to. It will mean potentially a lot of games on the road if there are upsets. As O'Keefe watches that one roll to the backstop. Winner of this will play the winner of Alhambra, the 3 seed, or Montgomery, the 14 seed. Certainly won't be easy if it's Alhambra coming out, as we would expect. O'Keefe fouls it back. Alhambra of Martinez, 17-7 on the year. They were 8-4 in a very good Diablo Foothill League, probably the best league in all of Contra Costa County. And they won 6 in a row coming into the NCS playoffs, including a victory over the 2 seed in this bracket, Benicia. 2-0 on the younger O'Keefe. Trying to keep the Petaluma bats going. Misses low. 3-1. Leonard struggling to find control now. And the 6th seed could be the lucky seed. At least Petaluma will like to look at it that way, based on last year's bracket, where Bishop O'Dowd was the 6th seed and made it all the way to the championship game as O'Keefe Walks, before they lost to the number 4 seed Cardinal A in the title game. Petaluma would love to make a run, love to win it, but a championship run would be a success. Now batting for Petaluma, number 5, Rachel Bless. You have to take it one game at a time. You know, this Petaluma team isn't looking ahead. They didn't look ahead all year. The VVAL, where anything and anything did happen, a wild league race. The 3-way tie for 2nd at 8-4, and Napa wins with 3 losses. There's a lot of parity. 1 out is no outs as Bless tries to lay down a bunt and fouls it off. 0-2. It's been a very uncharacteristically rough day for the leadoff hitter for Petaluma. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Hasn't hit a ball in play yet. Against Sadie Lightfoot, who just has not been in a good rhythm all day. That bounces low. Giants come in 13-11, 9-5 in the MCAL. That misses low. Some impressive victories in Redwood's season. Tara Linda, Drake, Liberty, big squad at Brentwood, probably their best victory of the year. Lincoln and San Francisco is Bless walks. Back-to-back walks by Leonard. But it's been very up and down for them. They haven't been good away either. 5-7 away, and coming in losing 5 of 7 after they won 6 of 7. Part of it was also just the differences in who they were playing in the Marin County Athletic League. The bottom of the MCAL not good. The top very good with Marin Catholic at San Marin. Bunt laid down. Third baseman comes way over to get it and makes the throw. Nice play by Mia Hammett, who read the bunt well. And after we saw O'Keefe reach earlier on a bunt, the Giants not fooled this time, but advances the runners. Now batting for Petaluma, number 13, Emma Wyand. Still just 1 out, though. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. And Emma Wyand digs in. An exceptional day for the junior. Swings and misses. She doesn't get enough credit either for catching beyond the plate. An excellent defensive catcher, but she also has to help orchestrate O'Keefe and Bless when they pitch. Keep them calm. As a foul ball by Wyand made a nasty sound on a car. I think it was the Ram parked right behind, and we have reminded viewers many times on this broadcast not to park your car behind the softball diamond. Ground ball to short. The throw is made, but the Trojans add a run. O'Keefe comes in to score. Giants never look to home. And there's 2 down, but 3 innings in a row, 1 run for Petaluma. So the Trojans make it 6-1. Bottom of the 4th. Here comes India Smith. Bless still at 3rd. Smith walked last inning and a little too aggressive on that pitch by Leonard. Petaluma's patient approach has really won them over today. 51 walks coming into the season compared to 105 strikeouts. Not great, but the approach has been excellent by Petaluma coming into this game, knowing the pitcher. They've seen Leonard before. They've ruined Leonard's game plan, which was to try to work around these Petaluma batters, but she didn't have good control. As this ball gets by the backstop, here comes Bless home to score. Bless scores on the pass ball, and it is 7-1. 2 runs in this inning, and hasn't been a lot of Petaluma hitting. But Leonard struggled to find a control, turns him impatient. And the game plan that Redwood had to trying to pull the upset is starting to evaporate. That's a nice off-speed pitch by Leonard, and just been surprised she hasn't used the off-speed more. Trojans have struggled to hit it. Petaluma team that likes to hit power pitching. They do not like to hit off-speed pitching. Lisa Bolton, the American Canyon ace, who will probably be VVL of the year, shut out Petaluma both times she pitched against them this year. Smith grounds out to second, and the side is retired. We are through 4 innings here from the Petaluma softball diamond, but the Trojans in control as we head to the 5th. They lead 7-1. Petaluma just continues to chip across runs every inning and extend that lead. They've done an excellent job of playing classic Petaluma softball in this game. Excellent pitching, fielding, and timely hitting. This is really what this team is all about. Well, they're definitely a more talented team than Redwood. They played them earlier in the season and blew them out. It has been a much more peskier, disciplined Redwood team that has used what they've learned over the course of the year. The Trojans really look ready in this game, and they haven't been nervous since that first inning. And they're going to hope that they can make a run. It would mean so much for this team, especially after the death of Sean O'Keefe, for the 2 seniors, India Smith and Kylie Pate, and all the ups and downs they've been through this year. An incredible opening win against Napa at the beginning of the year. Looked like they would be the favorites to win VVAL. Dropped 2 games in a row in the middle of the season and looked like they were out of the race, climbed back into the race with a massive victory over Vintage before being blown out by Napa, then went on another win streak, went all the way to the championship game of the Napa tournament before they blew a lead against Rancho Cotati to lose. Then Sean O'Keefe dies of cancer. Tragically, the father of the 2 O'Keefe sisters and a coach for many of these players. And Petaluma bounces back, goes on a win streak since then. And in the last month, they've only lost 3 games, 2 of them to Rancho, 1 to American Canyon, and every single one by just 1 run. Back on the field, as we lead off the top of the 5th for the Giants, Mia Hammett, the freshman, batting .305, and the Giants need a spark. Ground ball to Bless. 1 down. Quick outs for O'Keefe. Starting to become a habit in this game as the evening grows later. Top of the order for the Giants, number 27, Kama Kalakini. Want to know on one of the 5 seniors, hoping not to play their final game of the year. Kalakini takes low. Wind picking up. Storm coming in. Supposed to start raining late tonight. Kalakini fouls it off. Trojan baseball team is scheduled to head to Casa Grande tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock for the first round of the Division II NCS baseball playoffs. Ground ball up the middle, and finally a base hit. A massive cheer from a large Redwood crowd who has not had a lot of cheer about since the first inning. Finally a hit after 8 in a row retired by O'Keefe. Now batting for Redwood, number 8, Katie Connor. 1 out, 1 down. Can the Giants mount something, trailing by 6? Connors takes high. Freshman only batting .193 on the season, yet she was slotted in the second hole. Lack of Redwood pitching has hitting has cost them in this. 1-1. Large and lively crowd for this game. Giants fans came in numbers. Make the about 30-minute trip north from Larkspur, though I bet it was a lot worse with traffic. It's probably closer to an hour.
Trojan fans numbering fair as well, though the cold has certainly scared scum away. Very close to hitting Connors, but it looked like it just avoided her. 2-1. Mentioned Trojan baseball scheduled to play Casa tomorrow. Be the 8-9 matchup. Gaucho's the 8 seed, Trojan's the 9. Chopper up the middle. Bless shoves to second, throw to first. Safe. Trojan nearly pull the double play as Bless continues to anchor this infield from short. Now batting for Redwood, number 2, Morgan Bello. Still 1 on, but now 2 outs, and Bello's been quiet as the best hitter for the Giants. Leading them in batting average, RBIs, hits, home runs as she drives this one deep into right. Smith makes the catch. What a catch by India Smith up at the wall, and the Trojans get out of that inning. Bello showing her power. We were talking about she's a good hitter, but Smith with a big smile on her face. Not a big day for her or Bless hitting the ball, but they have come through fielding the ball as we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's the Trojans 7 and the Giants 1. And just 6 more outs needed for Petaluma. You hope as a Trojan fan that they would not be counting that. But the Trojans doing an excellent job right now staying in control of this ball game and continuing to extend the lead. Timely defense all around the outfield right now for Petaluma. Next game in the NCS quarterfinals, likely going to be against Alhambra. Montgomery, the Vikings are facing them. It's been a really wild season for a dysfunctional Vikings team out of Santa Rosa. The NBL champions last year struggled this year. So expecting Alhambra, who's playing excellent softball, to win that game. They'll be awaiting the winner here. That game would be in Martinez, likely at 5 o'clock on Friday night. It hasn't been scheduled, but because both teams are playing this afternoon, and the game can be Friday or Saturday, you expect a 5 o'clock first pitch from Martinez. If the Trojans win, we will hopefully be there with coverage and continue to follow this Trojan softball team as far as they go. Petaluma not wanting to look forward, but if you do look forward in the bracket, the Trojans, if they could advance to the semifinals, would likely continue to be on the road. Benicia is the 2 seed, new to NCS this year, along with the Napa schools moved into NCS. And they won the Diablo Valley League with a game up actually on Alhambra. They would be a stiff test for Petaluma, but could have some other teams come out of that bracket. Antioch is the 7th seed, and American Canyon, you know Petaluma doesn't want to face them and Lisa Bolton. They are the 10 seed. And if the Trojans made it to the championship game, Rancho Cotati is the number 1 seed. The Trojans have lost by 1 run 3 times to them this year. Newark and San Marin would be the other higher seeds. And last year, it was a 6 seed versus a 4 seed in the championship game, so you never know. Now pitch hitting for Petaluma, number 21, Carly Burnich. So Burnich will come in, the freshman, to pinch hit for the Trojans as she takes the first pitch low. The freshman is a good hitter who can hit for power. 281 batting average, 9 hits on the year as she makes her NCS debut. Gotten some time starting at first this year when it hasn't been airs and a variety of other positions around the infield. 1-1. Trojans leading 7-1 against the Giants here in the first round of the NCS playoffs from the Petaluma High School softball diamond. We are live here on Trojan Live. If you have any questions, comments, concerns in our final broadcast of the year, in all likelihood here at Trojan Live, if there are some upsets in baseball or softball, and another Trojan team gets a home game, we'll be back here, but unlikely, not impossible. 2-1 on Burnich. That catches the strike zone. Leonard working hard, but it's been a rough afternoon. Rips that one foul. Just a 2-2 on the freshman. The Trojans have scored every inning of this ballgame so far. Fouled straight back. Win or go home here in the NCS playoffs. Redwood trying to stay alive as Burnich walks. Now batting for Petaluma, number 22, Kylie Pate. What a day it's been for Kylie Pate. That one's low. Biggest hit of the day so far, 2 RBI double. Brought in 2 runs in the top of the first, and the Trojans haven't looked back since. Misses low and bounces in front of the plate. Pate now 10 RBIs on the season, reaches 33% of the time. This one is ripped into left and escapes the left fielder. Burnich racing around to third. She's going to head towards home. Here comes the throw, not in time. And Pate's all the way to third with a triple. I don't know how she got there. I was watching Burnich hustle her way around, and suddenly Pate came into my peripheral vision and made it all the way to third. Exceptional base running by Pate. An RBI triple. What a performance she is having. And there are frowns on the Redwood supporters' faces. 8-1. First pitch strike. Feeling starts to settle in when your season starts to come close to an end. Trojans add a couple more. You can start thinking mercy rule potentially. Misses outside to Ayers. 8-1. This one driven into left, and on the lip of the grass, the shortstop makes the catch. 1 down. Leonard just hasn't gotten enough of those easy outs. Hasn't worked a lot of different pitches, and the Trojans have hit all over it. Now pitch hitting for Petaluma, number 3, Teresa McGoffney. Junior second baseman for Petaluma will hit for the first time today. Had some nice at-bats in limited action. A couple 2-hit days against Montgomery and at Sonoma. 36 plate appearances, 345 batting average, 10 hits. 6 RBIs and 2 runs. Reaches base 42% of the time. So McGoffney takes high. Pate at third with just 1 down. Anything hit into the outfield should score the super speedy senior. This one is popped high into the air, but foul and not deep enough for Pate. Catch is made, 2 down. Now batting for Petaluma, second baseman, number 14, Mallory O'Keefe. O'Keefe will settle in now with 2 out, trying to keep the rally alive. Trojans have 1 run in this inning. Make it 8-1. They've scored in every single inning. It's just been constant pressure on Sadie Leonard, who came in pitching so well this year. 7 victories, 12 games started, pitched over 100 innings. She struggled. O'Keefe drives this one into center for a base hit. The struggles continue for Leonard. She can't find her control, and when she throws it over the plate, the Trojans make her pay. O'Keefe's had an excellent game. A couple walks, an RBI single, and back to the top of the order for Petaluma. Now batting for Petaluma, number 5, Rachel Bless. It is 9-1 as Bless takes outside. 0 for 2 is Bless, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Not to look ahead too much, but for one of the best hitters on Petaluma, I'd love to get her a hit. She's not confident right now at the plate, you can just tell. Wanting it a little bit too much in these NCS playoffs. Dreams of playing Division I college. She joined this Petaluma softball program because she knew it was elite. Another big swing and a miss, though. My goodness. She's got to take a deep breath, settle in, and calm down. She strikes out her third time today, but not before Kylie Pate comes through again. A big triple from Pate, and then Mallory O'Keefe gets in on the action with a base hit of her own to score Pate. And it is all Petaluma right now, 9-1. The Trojans leading the Giants. We reach the end of 5 innings here from Petaluma, and the score is Petaluma 9, Redwood 1. So 9-1, the Trojans in control here, and it's been an exceptional performance. If you've missed any of our softball coverage over the course of the season, including that best game of the year against Napa, the best softball game I've ever seen in my coverage. The Trojans came from behind to beat the Grizzlies not once, not twice, but 3 times in a ridiculous game that had more drama than you could put together in most people's normal day. Exceptional, and that's on our YouTube channel. We have the Trojans Senior Day victory over Justin Siena on our channel. Their victory over Montgomery was a good game. That's on our YouTube channel as well. The Friday Night Lights game against Rancho Cotati that was played a couple weeks ago. That was a really well-played game on our YouTube channel. And also the Trojans' very well-played 1-0 exciting victory over Casa Grande on our YouTube channel. So we've covered a lot of softball this year. We'll continue to cover them. If you missed any of it this year or last year, it's up on our YouTube channel for Prosperity, full play-by-play, full coverage, and highlights, of course, every morning on our daily morning announcements on Trojan Live, 8:30 every morning. School year's winding down, too. We only have 8 more shows left in the year, which is quite wild. Now batting for Redwood, number 13, Mia Kessinger. Kessinger 0 for 3 today. Trying to mount a rally for the Giants. They have 6 outs to work with, and so O'Keefe, first pitch, catches the outside corner. 9 shows left, I'm being corrected by producer Jamie Cantieri. Kessinger drives this one into left center, and it will roll all the way to the wall. A stand-up double for the sophomore. The first extra base hit of the day for the Giants. We mentioned it earlier, Redwood struggles with extra base hits. Their slugging percentage below their on-base percentage. They get something there. Can they start climbing the mountain? You gotta take it one at a time. Here's Hammett. Lightfoot, I should say. She grounds it foul. The sophomore batting .277 on the year. Looking for a 9th run batted in. O'Keefe trying to get her 10th victory of the season. That just misses. Just 2 losses on the year, too, for O'Keefe. She has been, the near end of the season, the epitome of an ace. Reliable, dominant, and goes long. Popped up in the air. Wyand racing over. She can't make the catch. It nearly bounced into the hands of Ayers. It might have been volleyball, which Wyand plays, but it falls to the ground. What a wild play. That would have burst the top off of this bubbling Petaluma crowd. Said just a strike, 1 and 2, and it's popped up into the air. Stays in the infield, O'Keefe makes the catch, though there has been a fielding change, so McGoffney makes the catch. Now O'Keefe has moved over to third to replace Pomey. Bless still at short, and Pomey at first, Wyand behind the plate. The outfield remains the same with Sobel in left, Wyand in center, and Smith in right. One down as it's grounded past the outstretched glove of Ayers. Here comes the run to the plate. She's out of here. What a throw from Smith in right field. 2 down.
Exceptional arm from Smith, and Wine applied the tag in motion as they throw out Kessinger. Now pinch hitting for the Giants, number 10, Katie Rose. That just has to be soul-crushing for the Giants. It stays 9-1, now 2 outs. And Rose will come in to pitch it with a runner at first. Trojans' fielding has been excellent today. One early mistake by Pomey in that first inning, and since then they have been flawless with a capital F. Rose fouls it off. Redwood came in here confident and feisty, a team used to success. They've had a winning record every year since 2014 in the very good Marin County Athletic League. They've run into a juggernaut team playing confident softball right now in Petaluma. Another one fouled off the fence. Petaluma, with the exception of 2 one-run losses, has won 5 games in a row, including a big 3-2 victory over Vintage last Tuesday. Got them second place in VVAL and knocked off Vintage from not only a VVAL title, but it was their senior day. Really impressive victory after Petaluma had a soul-crushing 1-0 loss to American Canyon that cost them the league pennant. This one bounced up the middle. Bless comes way over to make the throw. Man, she flies around the diamond and has an arm to match too as we move to the bottom of the 6th. And the Trojans just 3 outs away from their first NCS win in 3 years. They lead 9-1. And that inning highlighted by another spectacular fielding play. India Smith in right field with the throw to throw out the batter. And the Trojans continue to roll along here as we move on to the bottom of the 6th. As we near the end of our final live stream of the season, we have a lot of people to thank for all the live streams we've done over the course of the year. Again, there is the very slim possibility there is another home game. If there's an upset in NCS baseball, and the baseball team gets a home game, or an upset in softball, the Trojans are a 6 seed, so anything lower would be at home until the championship games. Championship games are not at home. But if there is something wild that happens, we'll be back for another live stream, but likely not, and just it has been so much fun bringing so many sports live. From we started with football, we expanded to do nearly every home league basketball game in the season. We've done a lot of baseball and softball the last couple of years, and it's truly been a pleasure. I've had so many people that have helped me over the last couple of years. Matthew Colombo was so instrumental to starting live streams a couple of years ago and teaching me how to run everything. And since then, we've had tens of people that I couldn't even properly name everyone that has come out and run camera and produced and directed and so many jobs that have been so vital to the success here. So we'll head back out onto the field, and another pinch hitter for the Trojans. And it's Trinity Cressy, takes slow. I want to thank Jamie Cantieri, who's been a big part of our broadcast this year, producing, I think, about half of our live streams. It's been very helpful to me. And Bo Miller, who's working camera again today. He's worked camera for a lot of our games. Benjamin Vandermeer is just always here whenever I need him to be here. We've had nearly the entire Trojan Live class, though, at some point this year has helped out with our sports live streams and brought these games to your living room or wherever in the world you are, so you can still watch Trojan sports if you're a visiting team as well. That's low to Cressy, 2-0. One of the greatest moments, I think, of my year of doing live streams was after Petaluma boys basketball's game against Napa. Napa, the VVL champions in boys basketball. Whole team, as Cressy walks, whole team came over, ran over to me, and thanked me. They told me they watched every single game. Now batting for Petaluma, number 13, Emma Wyand. And it was really heartwarming just to hear their brief stories about watching every single game, their scouting teams from all our live streams, and
They hugged it. I think every single player came over and gave me a hug. It was really sweet. And we don't just do this for Petaluma fans, but for anyone that wants to tune in. And we've had parents, fans from everywhere tune in to watch their kids play. Big swing and a miss from Wyans. 0-2. We hope in the future that Trojan Live can continue to bring you live sports because it's such a vital part of the community. Students tune in. We had so many exciting moments, too, in Trojan sports, and we've been live there to cover them. Wyans St. Leonard has lost her control. And with the score 9-1, Mercy Rule 10 runs. Wyan comes around to score. This game will end. Couple moments this year in live streams stand out. The Egg Bowl in football, Petaluma Casa Grande. We had over 100 viewers tune into that one by the end of the game. We had about 500 people tune in over the course of the game. That Saturday afternoon, one of the most classic Egg Bowls in the 50 years of that football rivalry being played. Heartbreaker for Petaluma fans, thriller for Casa fans. We had both fans tuning in, people from everywhere, from Virginia, as that one is lined right to first, and it's going to be a double play. Nice catch by the first baseman for the Giants, Katie Rose, who just came in and doubles up Wyan. 2 down. Now batting for Petaluma, number 4, Mandy O'Keefe. So 2 down for O'Keefe, and the Giants looking like they might survive to go into the 7th. Couple other memorable live stream moments. The Wrestling Egg Bowl was another one with an immense amount of viewers. We had hundreds of people tune into that live as well. There were wrestling fans that had never heard of Petaluma, just wanted to watch some wrestling late on a Wednesday night. That was, I think, one of our longest live streams, if not our longest ever. It was about 4 hours. Petaluma Casa wrestling coverage, and the Trojans clinched a VVAL title in front of a rocking gym. So much fun. And maybe the most exciting live stream that I think I've ever done was also the coldest live stream that we've ever done. One of the most unique, too, is that, Mrs. Lowe, the only soccer live stream we ever did. The undefeated Petaluma girls soccer team. What a run they had on their season. We set up on Mr. Brazil's patio late February night. Game didn't start till 7 o'clock. It was 40 degrees and windy. But, man, one of the best soccer games you could ever see. The NCS semifinals, Campo Lindo, Petaluma. We had teachers tuning in. We had students tuning in. People were going nuts in the live chat. Is that Mrs. Lodo O'Keefe? She's ahead in the count. And game went all the way to penalty kicks. The tension at Steve Ellison Field on a place that was buzzing. Students were there. And so much of the staff was watching on Trojan Live, especially because it was so cold. People didn't want to go to the game. You were going to freeze your rear off if you showed up. I think we quickly got over 800 viewers on that game. We had Miramonte fans that were going to play the winner watching. Really fun live stream. Petaluma ended up losing, but the tension was terrific. O'Keefe grounds out, and we move on to the top of the 7. 3 more outs needed for Petaluma to try to close out the Giants and move on to the quarterfinals. It has been 3 years since Petaluma last won an NCS game, but just 3 more outs needed to change that. The Trojans have come together today and played an excellent game of complete softball. Those are our most memorable, I think, live stream moments of the year, but over the last 3 years, had so many memorable moments of live streams, especially on Mr. Brazil's patio, live streaming all the football games. So much fun. And so many viewers tune in, so many parents, all the basketball games from our own corner. We live streamed about 25 basketball games all 3 years, and a lot of classic basketball games as well. And every game, seeing the players come out, knowing that we were there and we would bring it to the community was just something special. And it added a little bit more to the game, and really just a pleasure that the community, the school allowed us to do this. Mr. Giovanni Napoli, the athletic administrator, Mr. Chris, the athletic director the last 2 years, all the coaches
and teachers that have helped open up rooms, janitors that have opened up rooms for live streams. There's so many people that go into this broadcast. You only see me, Peter Canali, other people that are on camera. But it's truly the people behind the camera, the people that clean up, the people that help us take down and set up the live streams that are the ones that should be getting the credit and the admiration from everyone, because that is truly the hard, tireless work. It's not always the most fun, but they are the ones that make this count. We can't have live streams if we don't have cameramen, if we don't have people running our Roland, our switcher, and bringing these games to you. It is all about them, all about the staff. Mr. Jonathan Knox has been always welcome to have our live streams, and even though we've broken some equipment, we've raised money to pay it back, and he knows how valuable this is. We've always had the support of everyone. And it's gonna be something I'm gonna really miss, coming out and streaming high school sports live. High school sports have a valuable aspect to them, and I don't think college sports, professional sports can ever replicate, that spirit of that NCS soccer game, an Egg Bowl, anything of that sort. Back onto the field as we start the top of the 7th inning. Just 3 more outs as this one is lined into left, right. Can we go on the right camera, please? A single for Parker Canby, and the Redwood fans are up on their feet cheering because she's a senior. Manager Emily Atkinson puts her on her last at-bat of her career, and she lines a base hit into right field. What a story, and she's going to get a little curtain call as she comes off. Really nice story. Only her 7th hit of the season as Redwood starting to wave the white flag, but they honoring their seniors in their final game of the season. Misses low to Mia Hamnet. A runner on first. Petaluma leading 9-1 first round of the NCS playoffs here from Petaluma High School. Hamnet drives this one into right. Sobel is entered, raging over and making an excellent catch. A lot of switches around the outfield now for the Trojans. Pate is still in left. Smith shifted over to center, and Sobel's in right. And Camo Sobel doesn't bat much, but she started a lot of games in the outfield. An excellent fielder for Petaluma. First pitch in there for a strike to the top of the order on Kama Kalinkini. Don't forget to stay tuned. After the game, we will have some live interviews. The Trojans should be delighted if they can close this out at Mrs. High. One of only 3 Petaluma sports remaining. As mentioned, the baseball team scheduled to face Casa Grande tomorrow, but the rain makes that look unlikely. Likely to be rescheduled, who knows when. This one is popped up. Wyand unable to run it down and make the catch right in front of the Redwood dugout. The track team still got 4 more athletes that are competing. They are headed to the NCS Meet of Champions next weekend. Diablo Valley Community College and Pleasant Hill. What a season for Sydney Dennis, Savannah Engler, Tony Mokel, Callie Sullivan, who all had exceptional performances last Saturday at the NCS Redwood Empire Finals. It was there. You can find that coverage up on our YouTube channel. Especially Sydney Dennis, trying to become the first Trojan athlete in a long while to make it to state. She's got a good chance in the triple jump. They're setting a school record last week in the events. Colin Keeney in the hole, 1-2 on O'Keefe, who's trying to pitch her 6th complete game of the season. She last 2 games pitched also complete games. She's really found some extra endurance of late. Not someone that she was someone that struggled, I think, to get through a lot of games over the course of the season. We'd see Bless come in to close out games. O'Keefe's gotten some extra adrenaline. Endurance has been built up over the course of the year. It's really helped her. Colin Keeney drives this one into right. Sobel making a leaping catch. Camo Sobel, time and time again, is not blending in like Camo. She's standing out like a ray of fielding prowess.
A Tiger in the outfield. Katie Connor takes the first pitch outside. Last gasp for the Giants. 2 outs, top 7. Nine to 1, the Trojans lead. That pitch from O'Keefe inside. And there for a strike, the Redwood dugout screaming and shouting. Katie Connors, they chant. The MCAL team, a young core. They do have 4 seniors they'll lose, but 12 returners from last year, a lot still underclassmen. Bright future to look through as Connors drives this into left field, a base hit. And now 2 on. Giants have been able to find a few base hits. It just hasn't been enough for the most part of this game. Haven't been able to string them together like the Trojans have for dangerous innings. Now batting for the Giants, number 2, Morgan Bello. Bello ripped a ball into right field only to have India Smith throw out the runner coming home. The best hitter on the Giants. Had a frustrating day. Has not reached base today. With a .419 on-base percentage. Bello grounds this one foul, 1-1. Trojans hoping to move on and likely head to Martinez to take on Alhambra in the quarterfinals of NCS Friday afternoon. If we get a score from them, we will bring it to you before the broadcast concludes. Two and 1. And we do now have a score from Alhambra. Or from Martinez, I should say, as this one's lined up the middle. Runner will hold at third, and the bases are loaded. And Trojans have to be scared going to Martinez because the Bulldogs were dominant 13-3 as they crushed Montgomery in a 5-inning mercy rule game. They mashed 12 hits and scored 8 runs in the first 2 innings. Will be a real challenge for Petaluma on Friday. Weather permitting, there's not supposed to be rain on Friday, but there's rain off and off. Ball popped in the air. Bless makes the catch, and that will do it. 3 years of misery and NCS over for Petaluma. They have a first-round NCS playoff victory. How sweet it is for Petaluma fans. Final score here today, the Trojans 9 and the Redwood Giants 1. Final score today here from Petaluma High School, the Petaluma Trojans 9, the Redwood Giants 1. Petaluma will move on to the quarterfinals of NCS, where they will take on the Alhambra Bulldogs on Friday afternoon. Thank you for attending today's 2019 NCS Les Schwab Tires Softball Championship Contest. Don't forget to check out the full game with play-by-play on Petaluma High's YouTube channel, Trojan Live, and you can check out the full NCS bracket at www.cifncs.org. Please drive home carefully, and thank you for supporting our participating schools. So stay tuned. Interviews coming up next as the Trojans win their first NCS game in 3 years, and they move on to the quarterfinals, cruising by Redwood 9-1.
Yeah, go ahead and delete like a first and final. All we need is a minute, so just go ahead real quickly and go do it.
Sounds You got
Can't see audio.
1 minute, Griff.
Only one? Hold on. I have to-
All right. Hopefully you're able to hear me now. They able to hear me?
It's in and out.
They able to hear me?
Daddy, your goal? Yes, no? Keep talking.
All right. We are about to talk to a couple Trojans after a big victory for Petaluma and NCS over Redwood.
It's rough over there.
It's rough. All right. Maybe now you're able to hear me a little better. Hopefully. If not, we'll... Okay. Thank you. Alhambra won. Kurt, Alhambra won. I checked. Alhambra won. Mallory, can we have an interview? Mallory.
Oh, Mallory.
A couple hits today.
All right. Whoa, I think I mean, he's not talking right now, so.
All right, Mallory O'Keefe coming over to join me after Petaluma defeats Redwood today. First NCS game for you as a freshman. How do you deal with all the pressure and everything that went into this game?
It's exciting, just have the teammates here for you.
You guys were so slick fielding. You at second made a couple of nice plays. How important is the fielding to this team and your sister's pitching?
Oh, it's everything to back up the pitcher because she works so hard and just to be there for when they actually get hit.
You guys' bats were relentless today. You scored runs in every single inning but the last one. What was your guys' approach at the plate?
Oh, well, we've been hitting all week, so, just pitch. Don't hit the high ones and just swing at strikes.
You've obviously been through a lot in the last couple weeks. How have you been able to really settle in, both you and your sister, on the softball diamond and have a lot of success?
The teammates are always here for you, and so is my sister. It's just so much support.
What's the team dynamic for you as a freshman with a lot of underclassmen starting in the lineup?
Wait, what?
What's the team dynamic and chemistry like as you as a freshman with mostly upperclassmen on the team?
Well, all the upperclassmen are just so supportive of everything you do. If you make a mistake, they're always there to pick you up, and it's really nice.
Thank you so much, Mallory. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was Mallory O'Keefe. If you could grab Emma. Mallory, can you grab Emma? And then we are going to talk to Emma Wyan, the Trojan catcher today, who caught Mandy O'Keefe's big game in Petaluma's 9-1 victory as they cruise over Redwood, and they'll move on to play Alhambra on a Friday.
All right, let's step back one. All right, here with Emma Wyand. You guys defeat Redwood here today. You've been on this team since a freshman and had 2 rough first-round NCS losses. How important was it today to get that monkey off your back?
Well, first off, we went into this as a really high seed, so we weren't playing a team that was really high seeded because the past 2 years we've been seeded like 16th or 15th, so we've been playing really good teams. And I think this is a good way to propel us into the next game, and I think we all were anticipating like a game that's going to be like this, and as long as we work hard, as long as we win, and like have a lot of chemistry and talk loud like we were loud the entire time, and without that then we wouldn't be able to win. And I just think that the past 2 years we've had a little bit of rough chemistry, and I think this year everyone's really tight and everyone's really like close together, and we're basically all like really close friends, so that just helps us win. Yeah.
You were catching Mandy O'Keefe today. She was dominant again today. She's been in a big rhythm the last couple of weeks. What have you seen from her as her catcher that's put her just in complete domination?
I've been catching her since I was in 12s. Like that's when I first joined her team, and I was a catcher, and I was catching her since 12s, and she's just improved so much, and she's dominant on the mound, and it doesn't seem like it, but her spin just prevents hitters from getting the ball cleanly, and we have a really strong defense, so they just hit it to our defense, and our defense takes care of it.
Lastly, you guys played a really hard schedule this year, day in and day out in VVAL. How helpful do you think that is now in NCS, especially going forward when you guys are going to be going up the likes of some East Bay powerhouses in Alhambra and Benicia?
Very important, because last year we had a really light schedule. We didn't really play teams that were like threatening to us in a way. And I think these teams that are really strong help us know what we need to work on. And working on these things helps us improve as a team, and especially defensively. Like a lot of them have bunts and stuff like that we don't usually work on, like slap hitters. And working on that will just improve us. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma. Congratulations. That was Emma Wyand after a big victory for Petaluma. They get the monkey off the back, 3 years since an NCS victory, and she was not totally correct. They were a 7 seed last year in the NCS playoffs against Newark Memorial and just played a dud of a game. But she talked about the chemistry on this team much better this year. Through the ups and downs, this team is stuck together, and what a game they had today. Just a complete game of classic Petaluma softball, dominant pitching, dominant fielding, and timely hitting time and time again from up and down the lineup. That is going to do it for our live streams here this year from Petaluma High School. What a year it's been of live streams, and what a last 3 years it's been of live streams. I was talking about it on the broadcast. Everyone from the community support to the teachers to the parents to the entire crew has been so instrumental to all of our live streams this year. Especially this year, we have probably our 2 members that have helped me the most, Bo Miller behind the camera and Jamie Cantieri directing. They have been an incredible job this year, but so many people have been day in and day out coming out and supporting our live streams. Big shout outs to Ben Vandermeer, to TJ Fife, to Kaylee Smith. I'm already forgetting names. Alex Fabian Davies, of course, Peter Canali as well. Did I forget anyone, Bo? Nah, that seems to be everyone. But as you're, yeah, I mean, just been fantastic year of live streams. We really hope you've enjoyed it, and we continue to cover what? I said Jamie. We will continue to cover baseball and softball as they make their runs into NCS. Softball heads to Martinez Friday, 5 p.m. against Alhambra, hoping to make it out there. Baseball scheduled to play Casa tomorrow. We'll see if that game actually happens. So one final time, live from Petaluma High School for Bo Miller on camera. Special shout out once again to Stella Schwapik and her help. And Jamie Cantieri directing. I'm Griffin Epstein. Final score, Petaluma 9, Redwood 1. The Trojans moving on to the quarterfinals of NCS.